I'm a firm believer that the winners of Tough Enough were decided weeks ago before the competition even started. Looking at WWE's track record with these things, the only person from the last season of Tough Enough that's still with the company today was the first person eliminated on the last show. I am also shocked that out of the 11,000 plus applications that were sent in, the WWE chose this cast to be part of Tough Enough. But nonetheless, there were still a few gems amongst the cast. I believe Patrick was one of them. And before you call me out as being bitter that the guy that I picked to win got eliminated early, let me show you a couple tweets from some legends that can back me up. Following the show, Mick Foley tweeted, "@Patrick, you made the mistake of thinking #ToughEnough was a wrestling show. Sorry to see you go." He was implying that it wasn't a wrestling show, that it was a drama show, that it wasn't there to create the next big star. It was just there for a good show. He also went on to explain that he doesn't believe voting is corrupt, but he does believe the system is flawed. Tough Enough regularly draws in an audience of 1 million viewers. As I would guess, a lot of those viewers are the same types of people that watch Total Divas, which runs on the same night. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different audience from the IWC fans. Allowing fans to vote has absolutely turned Tough Enough into a popularity contest. One of the most striking scenes coming out of the last night's episode of Tough Enough was indeed Patrick getting up all into ZZ's grill about his conditioning level and questioning how much he really wanted to be there. As a casual member of the audience, I would probably look at that and say, meh, I don't really like that guy. ZZ is one of my favorite characters on the show, and it's mostly because he's funny, not because of his in-ring ability. So I don't really like Patrick anymore because he called out ZZ. 10 minutes later, Patrick is put into the bottom 3, opposite of ZZ and an injured woman, and the audience is looking at this man with a natural scowl on his face, and it sure as hell didn't help Patrick that he is running up against ZZ. Of course the audience is going to eliminate Patrick over the lovable ZZ and the injured victim woman. But in terms of making a star, Patrick has as good of a chance of becoming a star as any one of those contestants. You look at the other contenders, Tanner and Josh are practically carbon copies of each other, and both of them look like they'd be the next big Andy mistake, as in they win the contest but don't do anything past developmental. Media, Mata has a very intimidating and exotic look to him, but if you're talking about ceiling, the guy has gimmick written all over him. He's just going to get called up and be a foreign heel, because that's as far as he can go with his look. ZZ is only 18, he appears to be a lot older than 18, but he's very young. He has the charisma and comedic effect equivalent of a stand-up comedian at your local bar, which isn't going to fit the WWE lifestyle. Booker T said it best when he said, how am I supposed to take ZZ seriously standing next to a Randy Orton or Seth Rollins? You just can't, which means he can't be a main eventer, and that's what you're looking for in the next Tough Enough winner. Patrick had a unique look to him. He always stood out in the pack. When they were all standing up on the stage, a lot of them you couldn't really tell the difference, but Patrick always stood out. I could legitimately see this guy at the top of the card for at least the next 5, and in about 5 years' time, I could see him at the very top of the card. He constantly talks in wrestling promo lingo, but you can clearly hear the passion in his voice when he talks about wrestling. He clearly loves the business. He knows it probably the best out of any of them, and I believe that he does have a background in independent wrestling. His passion clearly isn't canned. It's not scripted like a lot of the show is. I could see this guy coming out on Raw and going line for line on the mic with any established star simply because he cares about his work. This isn't another bullet on his resume. A lot of these models that are coming onto the show, it's just to say, I was on Tough Enough. It's just a part of their resume. It's just to make them look good for their future endeavors. The rest of the male contenders might be able to make a decent living on the mid-card of NXT, so one of the other contenders ended up winning NXT like Mata, like a Josh, like a Tanner. They won't make it very far past the mid-card of NXT because obviously they're going to get put on the show because to show, hey, they won Tough Enough, so clearly we're going to give them a contract, we're going to give them opportunities. But to make it onto the main roster and actually contribute to the product and make it better, Patrick was the only guy that was believable in that aspect. And now that he's gone, and now there's very little reason to continue watching Tough Enough, we can at least bank on the thought that WWE could end up signing him anyways. Because it has happened in the past where pretty much every season, 1 or 2 talents get signed despite not even winning the show.